So let's dive in. Engaging in a new generative AI era. Too often, next eras are defined by technology development and through the lens sometimes of competing objectives between machine and human. And this notion of competition between whether industrial revolution, can we actually do more work faster with machines, or in the AI era where it seems to be, can we actually beat a machine or AI at Go or Jeopardy, and what does that look like? And unfortunately, that's not really helpful to have this framing of tech and human as competition. And it creates a lot of fear, actually, in people's minds as they think about what this future looks like and what their role is in. So an autocomplete text of looking at searches, I think, really reveals some of our concerns and our fears around AI, right? Is it going to take over the world? Is it going to replace me? Is it going to replace my job? Again, this tremendous technology and opportunity we have at this point in time with AI, which has so much potential for doing good, can be framed as a negative in people's minds, as a threat, as something they shouldn't lean into, and certainly a fear that results as part of that. And it paints this kind of picture of me versus AI, which isn't helpful. It creates a struggle with people of understanding what is my role, what makes me unique, what can I do that a machine can't do. We like to think about this differently at Microsoft and really talk about technology being critical to always being in service to humanity, to always make sure we're putting people first and making sure that we're thinking about technology as this enabler. I love the point that was made earlier about this kind of human enablement. AI is the augmentation of a human. Very much our point of view as well. This is about making our work that we do better and be able to do it across a number of different experiences, whether you're in the work side, life overall, and our role in how we can make that happen. This is also very true as you think about AI in its evolution and how we do see that this is actually going to make our way in our life a bit better with work and with more because of these three fundamental truths around AI. Right? It's evolving now to be really a universal interface and an opportunity to be multimodal, where you take in input of voice, text, copy, and output music, code solutions. The dimension of AI and memory and context, meaning that it can understand not only your data, your signals, your devices, and make that a more customized experience. And then the third pillar that AI brings of just reasoning and planning, right? And being a shortcut to making sure it's helping in that decisioning process. We see these three pillars of AI being helpful to humans and ways to us to continue to advance. And if we zoom out a bit further, we can look at how do we think about that also empowering this ecosystem that we're all very passionate about. That's what IAB really stands for, is people that want to make this industry better. We want to unlock our talent. We want to be more efficient. We want to help grow our business, whether that's a publisher business, client business, agency business. And we see what we're building with Copilot and across this ecosystem, a way to help do that. For consumers, it's about helping them make better decisions, more personalized experiences. We see for advertisers this opportunity to boost productivity, yes, but also creativity, that is key, and making sure that we're helping businesses grow. And then publishers, this opportunity to really engage with audiences and better understand how to monetize that away as well, making sure that the content business still is thriving and evolving. And so I'll just spend a bit of time going through each of these three lenses through the view of also how we're helping with Copilot, which is really our AI-empowered assistant, with the notion of how do we make people's lives simpler and navigate the barrage of information or tasks to do or challenges that you have in the industry overall. So let's start with consumers. In this world, we have actually refreshed Copilot, again, our AI assist, in the last few months. In October, relaunched, really based on the input of people to say we want an experience that is more empowering. And empowering really is that world. And so what we're looking at is how do we actually expand this to make sure Copilot is something that is seamless at your side, understanding the context of the challenge, helping you with decisioning, making sure it's remembering the details and all the experiences, giving you access to all the knowledge that will empower you as well, and making sure we're delivering that in an easy way. And this is an unfortunate landing page for this little bit of animation. We're not saying go find a new career, okay? Enhance the opportunity to learn more and to make sure that you're evolving with how you decision that makes you, again, more connected to the challenge at hand and hopefully more amplified in the tools that you use to do that. And Copilot is something with you every day. Now, another outcome that actually came out of some of our early learnings with Copilot too is that people do want some clarity between advertising and the content itself, and they understand some of that dimension. So one thing that we actually augmented this version of Copilot with was something we call Ad Voice that creates a bit more of a distinction between what's the content itself and answering your prompt, as well as what the sponsorship opportunity is. It's fairly subtle. It's using color, a logo, in this case Microsoft advertising, to create some distinction. But it starts to not only make sure that we're understanding what is sponsored versus the content itself, but being a bit more seamless, because it's responding to the inquiry that you had and making sure that we're serving up the right advertising accordingly. So it starts to become a richer experience and more integrated as a result, and a bit more deliberate as well. If we jump to advertisers and really understand where AI is playing a role here, it's in a number of areas. And we like to think creativity is really the place to lean in the most, not only focus on productivity, which so much of our industry is focused on today. It's the notion here with Copilot embedded in our Microsoft advertising platform that can help you make easier decisioning when it comes to campaign creation. Right? You can enter a landing page URL. This will help generate image, copy, assets automatically, help you with refinement of that based on performance. And so it's really that turnkey way of creativity with the assets developed. Not necessarily saying the creative director walks away from this. Humans are involved, but it takes out a lot of that early stage work and perhaps an opportunity to also be inspired and search for new opportunities, as well as speed up that creative process. And pretty soon you have a baseline campaign with just a few clicks. Second big space, we talked about productivity, right? This is a relentless theme here. And again, back to our Microsoft advertising platform and GenAI being embedded in it with Copilot, you really get this opportunity now to take out some of these steps in the process that can be a bit laborious. And we all know in our industry, it is a challenge these days to make sure we're managing talent and churn and taking this next generation that may be too embroiled into spreadsheets and Excels and campaign setups. Take some of that workload off of them and ideally unlock all of their potential when it comes to developing more strategies and briefs and ways to connect with clients in real life. And so we see this opportunity to, as you think about the ad platform, to seamlessly coach people through this process, make sure that they're understanding all the steps and have not only productivity, but some safety in that slot as well of their time, and have that be automated for them so we can unlock them to do more work face-to-face with marketers, understanding what the opportunities innovation are. And performance is key, right? So here, another key lever of how do we then use technology and automation to anticipate, to measure, to dig into insights, to surface those insights in cards. And so you get more quickly to what's really driving the business, back to the outcomes conversation, and how do we take that into our next client meeting, our next marketing decision, instead of, again, being too bogged down into campaign setup, instead of understanding what's working and how do we pivot. So performance being a big part of this as well. And we see this not applying only to our business overall, but just across marketing and customer service and sales and more. The numbers, survey after survey, study after study, just show this great level of improvement that's happening. It's changing work, it's changing work artifacts, it's changing the workflow itself, and how we're bringing human and technology together in ways that we see really unlocking human potential and creating the time and space that we all so hunger for in this complex marketing landscape. And there's actually a study recently released with Australian government too on how they looked at applying Microsoft Copilot across almost 6,000 workers and understand what that impact was. And you can see here in the numbers, right? Improved completion of tasks time, quality of work. But I think what's really interesting is this last one, the 40% reallocation of time to higher order tasks. That's just a great unlock for talent. And in a world where we're also always looking for more efficiency in talent, this doesn't point to need more headcount. This points to actually unlocking the value of your current team and talent and making sure that they're spending their brain power in spaces that really make a bigger impact on the business. Final leg of our ecosystem, publishers, and the role that we can play in helping them as well. And this is something we take very seriously at Microsoft. We're trying to help both unlock new revenue opportunities and customer understanding by enabling new experiences. And this is really the opportunity to take that Copilot chat experience and bring it into publishers so that they can have a new ad format, a new way to expand reach, a new monetization opportunity. We're doing this with Axel Springer. They do, as you can see, a number of different publishers too, to create yet another opportunity for them to expand their audience and connect, and also support, obviously, great journalism from these brands. One more feature we're also launching to come, Copilot Daily. So this actually brings together information, weather, news, et cetera. This is in support of publishers again, as far as creating a new ad format that we pay them for. This is not scraping their sites and giving away their content. This is creating a new business model for them and seeing how we can support journalism and create some habit too in digesting and expanding the reach of their brands. And so with that framing, what we're trying to really look at is it is not this world of me versus AI. We see it very much as a world of me and AI as a way to empower people. We see Copilot as a version of how do you get there faster and how you can unlock that value and make sure that we are empowering, enabling, and growing the whole ecosystem as a result. But core to that still is the basis of trust. And so this is something that is critical, not only to Microsoft and our operations, but I think to this overall industry as well. The notion of how do you build trust into some of these new opportunities with technology. Where we started from was actually Satya Nadella, our CEO, coming out very early, I think it was about 2017, in a Wired article, and setting some of the standards and putting in place our own principles to make sure this is how we judge, evaluate, release AI in our ecosystem, going through rigorous security tests, but making sure that we're building for fairness, reliability, making sure that we have transparency, privacy and security, accountability, and inclusion in everything. So this becomes our kind of 6-point process, our lens, our view as we release AI, and its principles that we're trying to scale across a broader ecosystem as well. So with that, I hope that you can get a sense of what we're doing in the space, where we see our role, also supporting across consumers, advertisers, looking at the industry overall, and certainly supporting publishers too, which is the core of the IAB from its very roots. We see a world where AI is more personalized, more pervasive, more of a partner to that word of collaboration. How can this be your collaboration tool overall? That we're shifting to a world where we shouldn't be framing this as a human versus technology, but really think about that as this enabler of our people and of ourselves. And we think that when we reframe that thinking, it's going to be the great unlock for all of us, our roles, and hopefully for driving business growth overall. So thank you very much.